a grandmother.
Women in leadership, business, and lifestyle.
I know I do. Sometimes it can be overwhelming.
Welcome to another segment of Lifin Talk. And I'm here with my special guest and collaborator, Dr. Rose White. So welcome.
Thank you.
So I thought we'd get right into it because this is a powerful topic. And at some point or another, we have all been living from empty to whole. So it's really about a journey coming back to you. And so many people, I don't know if there's anybody that could be left out. At some point in time, we have had a void in our life. So many different voids and so many different topics that range from relationships to success, our interpretation of success, that is, and being validated. So what happens if we stop searching for that? And really you'll find that, the journey to wholeness is really within you. So that's what we're going to talk about briefly today. And hopefully our desire is that you can listen to this and get some life coaching fuel, one or two ideas that will really inspire you to make a change. And if you like this content on this channel, please consider subscribing and hit the like button and just share with others, because this is what we're here to encourage you, to inspire you, and to empower you. And with that, we're going to start off with really just a perspective of some questions. And I'm going to get Dr. Rose, because in this and finding being whole, a lot of people probably come to you and say, Dr. Rose, I need help because I feel empty, because there's a void. I don't know what to do. What would you say to them?
Not knowing what to do at that time when we feel empty, we are now at that position where we realize, I need healing. I need to be restored. I need a recovery of my identity. So sometimes life does not break us all at once. It comes in pieces,
Yes.
whether it's through disappointment, a broken promise, a betrayal, a heartbreak, a delayed thing, carrying sometimes, too much, too long can cause us to get into that place. And so my thing is helping people to realize that it is true. We are functioning, being open and honest to know, but I'm not full. And once we can get to that particular place of recognizing we're moving, but we're not whole, or we're present, but we're not fully here. Anybody ever been there? I'm here, but not here. This is when now the journey can begin to wholeness, because here is about honesty, being clear of where you are right now. So with helping someone, and being a person that at one point in my life, it was a lot of activity, but I was empty. I was going about helping everyone else, but inward, without people really knowing, I was feeling frustrated on the inside because I myself was not being fulfilled. And so there comes that time when you've got to recognize the emptiness. And when I can help that person to be honest enough to realize, as they said, it's just something that's just not working. Now we can begin to build on what it is that they're feeling like they need. What do they feel like they're lacking in? What is it that you feel like you've missed out on? And when you can begin to answer those questions, now we can move to that state of recovery.
Well, and I think too, feeling void comes in many different shapes and sizes. It could be, emotional gaps, or like I mentioned, about validation, that the inward you needs to be validated by a person or a thing. And so you have to look and notice that, do you carry patterns in your life? So is there a point in your life that you've noticed some things? So in relationships, in your habits or your achievements, and have they truly been satisfying you, or have they really? So that's an example of a void that we have to pay attention to, because you know what? If you feel like you're in the void, or something's missing, it's not a weakness at all. It's just something that you've been disconnected to, or maybe you haven't addressed a need. And sometimes it's not really knowing that you really need something.
Sure.
And so it brings us into, something else that a lot of people don't even probably realize, that there's a cost to filling that void. And where do you begin? Because probably you need to heal from a person or a thing, or maybe even a place, or all of the above. Maybe it's caused by cycles in your life, or maybe dependency on something, someone. So, this is where some work in you, and as Dr. Rose said, it's really about identification, because that's really where it starts, and being brave enough to address it.
Yeah.
And Dr. Rose, how does one start there?
Oh my goodness. It could take me all day to talk about that. But one of the things that I found for myself, because if there's ever been a person, I would say, and many of those that know me, I said, if there's anybody been a person that made more mistakes, that was me. I can write a book on that.
Have you read some books?
And I have.
Yes, many books.
But let me just say that one of the things that I find that I have had to help others, but I had to come through it myself, and that is I had to release some false weights. There are things that become weights, and that many of those things, they're false. So you cannot return to yourself while you are carrying what don't belong to you. What I'm saying here, there are things that we've got to release, like shame. We may not have been the best daughter, the best wife, the best coworker, the best friend. We got to release some old labels, other people's expectations that had of us, any kind of neglect, self-neglect. Anything, unforgiveness, we got to release that. And then we've got to be able to reconnect with who we are.
Yes.
Who we actually are. We got to ask, what matters to me now? That might sound a little selfish for some, but let me just tell you, that will begin to help you so much when you begin to say, what matters to me? What's important to me? What is it that I need? Oftentimes, and let me just say, especially to women, we as women have a tendency that we take care of everybody else because we were created as nurturers. And so we tend to take care of everybody else's needs, making sure that everybody else is happy, everybody else is at peace, everybody else is satisfied, and we ourselves go lacking. And so it's so important that we ask the question, what is it that I need? What brings life back to me? What's true about me? And then you've got to rebuild. Now you got to rebuild. Wholeness is not just emotional. It's got to be something that's practical. Mm-hmm. And so here, what do you have to rebuild? Some boundaries. You've got to be able to rebuild some routines. And let me just say a word that is so big for me right now and has been for a minute, and that is you got to rebuild your peace. Anything that has stripped your peace, you got to rebuild that quick and in a hurry. You got to rebuild your spiritual life. You got to rebuild your confidence. I'm also a part of my coaching business is building confidence. And so it's all about helping you as that individual get the confidence that you need, rebuilding some standards, be able to rebuild making decisions, your decisions, not somebody else's. And so when we can put those things in place, now wholeness we can recognize is not perfection, it's an integration.
That's really good. Well, and I would say also too, it's about us waking up.
Yes.
Waking up to have that mindset that, you know what, I do want to feel more, be more present, and diagnose myself so I can move forward with enhanced awareness, taking responsibility, engaging into wholeness. It's a mindset. You don't have to have it all together, okay? Because really at the end of the day, who really does?
Sure.
But it's about starting to connect. And sometimes you have to go backwards to connect the dots before you can connect those dots in the present, okay? But it's all part of your path and it is all part of your purpose. So while you may be in the healing of something, you know what? It's a step in forward motion.
Yes.
So you have to give yourself credit because being whole and living in wholeness takes time. It takes process and progress. So what does it mean to live holistic or build a holistic lifestyle? You know what? It is being well-rounded in your mind, your body, and your spirit, making sure that that aligns where you are and who you want to be. Because you know what? We're constantly evolving.
Yes.
So who we were yesterday is not who we are.
Sure.
And who we are right now is not who we're going to be.
Sure.
But it's all part of your purpose and the plan. So identification. So what would you say to building a holistic life, Dr. Rose?
I would say stop calling numbness your strength. Stop calling survival success. There is more for you than just getting through the day. There's healing. There's restoration. There is a way back to yourself, not the wounded self, not the performing self, not the survival self, but the true, and Liz said the word, authentic self. Moving from empty to whole, that's a sacred journey. And that's when you are returning to that truth of just who you are.
And you know what? Living whole is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination because we all have challenges that we've gone through, are going through, or will go through. But it is how you move in power, in peace, and alignment so you can sustain. And I want to leave you with some thoughts on also what is wholeness? What does it encompass in your life, in your inner life? It is about health. It's about joy. It's about you living in peace, security, identity. We did a previous segment on identity. It is about loving your relationships. It is about finance. Are you prepared? What are you doing with career? What are you doing with your passion to connect to purpose, to career, and to connect to others? Because it is part of life, an enriched life to do that. And also it's about health and living joyously. So if you don't have one trait that I mentioned, then there's a void. So what are you going to do to fill in the gap? So Dr. Rose, do you have any parting words as we close out?
I would say, I want you to just remember 5 things, and that is that empty places has to be acknowledged. Healing requires honesty. Release what survival taught you to carry. Be true to yourself, and know that wholeness is built one aligned choice at a time.
And also I wanted to say, you know what? It is about you being in the moment. And stop trying to search for things externally outside of you, because you have everything in you. And when you begin to realize that you could be whole, you could be living a holistic life, things that absolutely matter. It's all within you, within your reach, because nobody can reach inwards except for you. So hopefully the segment fueled you today. And know that, you know what, where you are, no matter what is happening in your life, know that it is very achievable to live a holistic life. But it starts with one step at a time and a mind shift to want to make those changes. So hopefully you've gotten some life coaching fuel today, and I hope that really resonated, because at the end of the day, it is all about the change in you. You could do it. You could do anything you set your mind to. So we're going to close out today, and that, I hope, resonates with you. So until next time, I hope you have a great day. Be well, be joyous, and we will see you very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.